Welcome to the Global Athletics Weekly podcast, a production of Making of Champions, Nigeria's leading sports media and management company.
It was an action-packed weekend in the world of track and field, with several countries holding their national trials in preparation for the Olympic Games. Welcome to this special episode of Global Athletics Weekly, and I am your host, Yemi Olus. Now, this episode is special for two reasons. First of all, we're recording live from the city of Durban, where the African Championships just ended. And then secondly, we have a special guest with us on today's episode of the show, and that's none other than our CEO, Bambo Akani. Bambo, welcome to your first Global Athletics Weekly show.
Thank you for having me, although I know you had no choice. But I'm happy to be standing in for Fumi this week.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And as usual, I have Chris here, my right-hand man. He's here once again. Chris, welcome.
I'm happy being on the show, and I'm looking forward to arguing with Bambo.
Well, let's see how that goes. So, guys, you've seen that it was a very busy weekend all over the world. We had several countries holding their national trials in preparation for the Olympics. First of all, we'll start with the British trials, which took place during the weekend, and we saw three men go under 10 seconds in the men's 100 meters. James Dasaolu won the race in 9.93 seconds, and then James Ellington came second in 9.96. Chijindu Ujah was third in 9.97. Unfortunately, the times were wind-aided, so it doesn't count as being legal. But Bambo, what would you have to say about this development? It's interesting, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's things are heating up. I think they've done very well going sub 10 at this stage. It shows they're coming into form at the right time, just about a month before the Olympics. I don't see these times as really threatening the Bolts and Gatlins of this world for medals.
In the 4x1?
Well, in the individual, no. But
Okay.
yes, in the 4x1, I think they can present a good team that can get a medal. Don't forget, Athens 2004 was very similar. They went and won gold. So it's very easy. If you have three guys running sub 10, you can get a gold medal in the relays if you have team baton exchanges. I would like to point out, I just have to, as a Nigerian, that three of the top four are all, originated, some have some Nigerian roots.
I know you have to just say that.
So James Dasaolu, obviously, Chijindu Ujah, who came third, and Ojia Deborun, who came fourth as well, 10.02. So it's really nice to see the Nigerian influence in the British trials. Let's not forget the two ladies, the hurdlers.
Tiffany Porter and Cindy Ofili also finished 1-2 in the 100 meters
in the hurdles. Yes, some Nigerian roots in there somewhere.
You were saying something about some Nigerian roots, but the thing is, if we have guys presently running, sub 10, we might not even notice this ones, in Britain, because in the last decade, 2006, we had the likes of Olusoji Fashuba running 9.85, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 9.85.
Yeah, and Deji Aliyu, he ran 9.95. Legal time. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not really moved that I'm seeing some of these athletes with Nigerian roots running sub 10. But it's not. We can't really say it's sub 10 now. When you put things in perspective and you add the win and all that, it's no longer a sub 10.
So Chris, you're saying that we don't miss those guys.
We're not missing them.
And we don't need them.
I don't know about need, but we're not missing them.
Okay, from Britain, we're moving to the French trials, where we saw Lavillenie set a world lead in the men's pole vault to win the title. He had the clearance of
595 meters, and Lavillenie is the one going to. Of course, we all know he's the favorite going to the Olympics. I still think he's going to win the gold.
You think so?
I know there is some
Lavillenie jumps well at national trials. He jumps well sometimes at Diamond League. But coming to a major competition now, can he pull this off?
He didn't win last year in Beijing, but he's the defending champion.
Yeah, I don't even think he got to the podium.
Yeah, he cut a really dejected figure in Beijing last year. I was there, and it was such an image. He was a celebrated man before the competition started, and at the end, nobody was even talking to him. He was just walking by himself.
Dejected.
You are talking to Sean Baba.
So I think, but I think this will be his year. Last year was not his year. You could even tell in the lead up to the World Championships that he lost quite a few times in the Diamond League. But this year he's been consistent. He's won most of his meets. I don't see anybody stopping him from the gold. I'm even hoping for a 6-meter jump this year.
Wow.
I know that I've said Levleni is going to retain the Olympic title, but watch out for another American, Sam Kendricks.
Yeah, he's been very consistent in the Diamond League.
I think he's the one going to challenge him.
Not Sean Baba.
No.
This doesn't seem to be Sean Baba's year so far. But of special interest to me, the French trials was the men's 100 meters where Jimmy Vico won the title in 9.88 seconds. Remember that he's the world leader with 9.86 when he equaled the European record. His and Francis Obikwelu's European record.
9.86.
Yes, he has done it twice now. So does that mean he has taken it from Francis Obikwelu? Who, by the way, is also Nigerian.
9.86. It's good that he's running so well now, but I don't think he's going to upset the apple cart and be in the mix. He's in the mix already. He could get to the final, but being on the podium is still a long way.
I think he will get to the podium.
Really?
Who do you think is going to upset the podium?
I'm not just saying this to argue with you, Chris. I think Jimmy Vico will get to at least the bronze. You know, I mean, if you look at the men's times, it's not as fast as last year.
No, it's not.
You know, I think Vico will be up there with Gatlin. The question is whether he can remain injury-free. Because last year, you could see, he did the 9.86 last year as well. But when he got to the major championship, he wasn't injury-free. I don't think he made the final because of injury or something. So I think Vico, this could be his year to definitely get an Olympic medal.
That will be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Olympic medal. Which one? What
maybe
color?
European record.
What color? What color do
He
you
said
think
bronze.
Bronze.
I would say bronze, but he'll be fighting for the silver.
Okay, Bambo. Who are your top three? You know.
I think without a doubt, it has to be Bolt, number one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we doubted Bolt last year, and he put us in our place.
Yeah, put us to shame.
You know, and Gatlin second, and maybe Vico third.
Chris.
I've said this before on one of the shows. Gatlin first.
Oh.
Both second, and Blake third.
Now you're just saying this to argue.
Maybe you have an insight we don't have.
I feel Gatlin, he has learned from the mistake of last year.
He's not running too many races this year.
Exactly.
So I think he's being strategic.
Like we would say in Nigeria, not showing himself now. He's just saving it for
So you think Bolt has shown himself now?
Bolt has shown, and Bolt knows that his biggest threat is Gatlin.
Bolt is running 9.6 this year, definitely.
You think so?
Definitely. Think about it. 2008 Olympics, what did he run? 9.69 world record. Mm-hmm. The following Olympics, what did he run? 9.64. No, 9.5. The world record in the World Championship.
In Berlin,
London 2012 was 9.64, I believe. So he's run 9.6 at the last two Olympics. He's going to run another 9.6.
And you don't think age was slowing
He was younger in 2008, in 2012, now coming to run 9.6.
So age is not slowing Justin Gatlin down? A man that is...
He got me on that, but...
A man that is 4 years older than Usain Bolt, at least 4 years.
Anyway, let's move to
But he came very close to beating him last year, so that's
very close.
Very close. I mean, okay.
Global Athletics Weekly is a Making of Champions production.
So let's move to Trinidad and Tobago, where we also saw the men's 100 meters champion winning with 9.97. That was Richard Thompson, who won the men's 100 meters. And then the women's 100 meters, Michelle Lee won with 11 seconds flat. Yeah,
Trinidad, they'll always figure in the sprints. It's great to see Richard Thompson, back in the mix of sub-10s, Olympic medalists in the 100 from Beijing, 2008. So, it's great to see him back. And the ladies, Michelle Lee, Kelly and Baptiste, they're always going to figure. So watch out for them in the relays as well.
Yeah. And that's my fear, actually, the women's 4x1 of Trinidad and Tobago, Nigeria's rivals.
Nigeria?
Yeah.
For bronze medal?
No, I said they are rivals. Like, their team looks quite solid.
Don't forget, Nigeria has not won a bronze in the Olympics since 2008. I would not see Nigeria as a favorite for the bronze.
No, I'm not seeing them as favorites. That's all. I'm just saying that we need to be careful. We already have rivals who are getting set to do so much more.
USA, Jamaica, always there at the top, and then it's fight for bronze. I mean, I think I would tip Great Britain.
Women or men?
Women.
Really?
Women.
Yeah, for the bronze. Yeah.
Asha Smith.
I'm struggling to remember other names.
Asha Philip. I mean, we just talked about their trials. I mean, at least two of them ran 11-1. Another girl ran 11-2. They will have a well-drilled team going into the Olympics.
I think they are going to flatter to deceive.
Okay.
I don't think they are going to win a medal. If we get our acts together, we have ladies who can do that.
You know, I'm always hopeful that Nigeria gets a medal, but apart from Blessing, who do we have in the 4x1? And are they going to be a well-drilled team? These girls are not training together.
That's a good point.
Good point. I rest my case on that.
I mean, we have Gloria as well, but she's not run 11-5.
Like even
how many times has she done 11-2?
They don't train together. Even if we had, a very good team, which we're still trying to get.
And if you look at the chemistry from the World Championships, it wasn't very good. Blessing didn't run the relay then. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see.
Okay, you talked about US and Jamaica. That brings us to them. Both countries will be holding their national trials this weekend. We see the US holding their trials from June 30th to July 10th. That's a whooping 10-11 days.
Wow.
And then
so
Jamaica, June 30th to July 3rd.
And that's why you see it is so big that they at least value these things, and they know that, see, this is a carnival. If we miss out on this, that's why it's so painful for them when they don't get into the team.
This shows proper planning. 10 days of championship.
And US national team, the US Federation, they have the most stringent measures of getting it. You can imagine, having 4 to 5 top hurdlers in the world, and you can't even go with all of them. And in the world, they dominate.
They're spoiled for choice.
It's not just 4 to 5. I mean, there was some analysis done recently on the number of American athletes that have achieved Olympic standards, right? And in the hurdles, it is in the tens and tens of hurdlers. In the women's 200 meters, I think they said almost 90 athletes have achieved Olympic standard.
Wow.
So it is, it's incredible.
Massive.
It's incredible, yeah. So it's going to be very competitive US trials. I think that I'm looking forward to the hurdles. I'm looking forward to the men's.
Because I wanted to ask, what events would you want to watch out for in the US trials?
Yeah, the women's hurdles, definitely.
Yeah.
I think, apart from Kendra Harrison, it's difficult. I see a world record there, yeah. I see a world record.
Because they are holding the competition in Eugene, so
fast track,
yeah.
And whichever way the wind blows, they turn the track around. So they do it to favor themselves, in terms of the time. The men's 100 is going to be interesting. Gatlin probably will win, but the other positions behind Gatlin, nobody really knows, Rommel, we've not seen much of him this season.
He's injured.
Yeah,
he's injured. There you go. So it's anybody's game after that.
Maybe Amir Webb might step up.
Amir Webb, probably.
200 meters, but 100, I don't know. I think he could because he had a very good race in one of the Diamond Leagues where he almost caught up with Gatlin. And despite the fact that he just finished 200 meters, coming to run 100 and running 994. So Webb, Gatlin, let's not forget Tyson Gay, and those three.
Do we see Courtney Okolo making the 400 meters team?
100%, definitely. I think Courtney Okolo she will be in the top 3 in the trials, I believe. I'm not sure who's going to win this year, actually. I think it's pretty open. Sana Richards, I think, may risk missing out. I'm not sure how well she's run this year.
Not very well.
Not very well.
I mean, who do you guys think is the favorite for the women's 400?
We've not seen Alison Phillips. We've not seen her run this year. I don't know if she's going to make a comeback in these trials, but I don't know the shape she's in.
Is Felix injured or?
I don't think so.
She was injured before. She was.
Oh, how
she was, but I don't know the length of the injury could have been. I still think she's a favorite if she makes her.
Will she still do 2 and 4?
That's a big question.
In the trials or in Rio?
in Rio.
I'm sure if she was going to change her mind, we would have known by now. So I think she's gone in for both. Since she already said she was going for both.
Well, if she's not run this season, we don't know her form. We don't know what she's going to do.
So
eventually.
she should tell us she's not doing the 200 before again. Stick with one.
We'll see. I guess we'll see.
And then
Which one does she love more?
The 200 is her event, obviously, but she wants to prove things, in the 400. So
Okay.
let's go to Jamaica as well. The trials will be holding this year. I think the Racers Grand Prix gave us a glimpse of what to expect, in the Jamaican trials, where they ran very fast times. The last person finishing with 10:04 seconds. What do we expect to see in the Jamaican trials this year?
Bolt winning 102. It's nice to see Blake back. Can he get a medal in the Olympics? I'm not sure.
Chris is optimistic,
Chris,
but I don't share his optimism.
I don't share his optimism. I think we've got to see more. We've got to see at least a 9.8, and we've got to see how his body holds up from the trials. But it will be great to see him back on the Jamaican team. That would be lovely.
Will there be an upset in the women's 100 meters?
100 meters.
Depends on what you mean by an upset.
Like Shelia not winning.
The trials or not winning the Olympics?
No, the trials. We're
I
talking
don't see
about
that
trials
as an
now.
upset anymore.
No, really.
Yeah. Her training partner, Ellington, has been in better form this year. So if Elaine runs the 100 meters, I can see Shellyan not winning.
Wow.
Yeah. And 200, I think. Well, actually, interesting. 200, I don't think Ellen Thompson has run very well this year.
No, she hasn't.
So
that encounter with Shippers was not a good one. She looked very pedestrian there. Shippers just was crazy.
Okay, well, 22.8 is still not bad, but let's see. I think it's going to be open 100 and 200 for the women in Jamaica.
Global Athletics Weekly is a Making of Champions production.
So let's come back to our continent. Of course, this past weekend we had the African Championships, which was a really great one. A lot of things happening, but the standout performer was none other than Caster Semenya, who won 3 gold medals in the 800, 1.5, and then anchored the South African team to gold in the 4x400 meters.
I mean, can she run all 3 at the Olympics?
No,
she's not doing
4, 8,
No.
and 1.5.
She can't run all 3.
I think she can if she
I
wants
think
to.
she can, but she's not going to.
And if she does, she can't win medals enough.
Or she might
Why
actually
not?
go for the 4x4. She might not do the 1.5,
Yeah.
but she might do the 800 and 4x4. After seeing what she did here, I'm sure there's no way they would go there without her.
If
Listen.
you're pitching for her to do 4x4, you take into fact that she's basically the only one alongside Wendanel. I mean,
Semenya makes the difference.
No, they ran in Africa. They are running in the world now.
Second fastest time in the world this year. That was what they ran.
Chris, let's be honest about that team. Semenya carried that team. They were in 3rd place in that race behind Nigeria and Kenya, about two seconds behind. And Semenya finished 2 seconds in front of Nigeria, a second and a half in front of Nigeria, which means we don't have the split. But if you look at the split, she probably ran a 48.
Just less than an hour after running the 800 meters.
30 minutes after. So, honestly,
Maybe too much. I mean, with schedules and all that, for her to run the 400, 1500, and the 800 meters.
No, we're just saying, what if she does the 800 and 4x4? No 1500, 800, 4x4.
What I'm saying is that if she wanted to do 400, 800, 1.5, she can
and
do
4x4
and get a medal in all of them, right? But she probably won't. I think the controversy around her, performing, will rage on, and if she has a crazy performance in the Olympics in several events, it's going to be quite controversial, I think.
I'd love to see her go for the 4x4 though.
I think she definitely will. There's no way South Africa will go run the 4x4 in the Olympics without her, because she got them that qualification. She's carrying that team. 800 meters, maybe the world record.
Yeah, I think so. But 1500 is still a long way, because I don't think she can beat Genzebe Dibaba in the 1500.
We've not seen Genzebe run this year.
You just made my mouth salivate. Semenya versus Dibaba. 400 meters. Semenya versus Felix. Alison Felix versus Shone Miller.
I'll be asking for too
That'll
much.
be one to watch out for. Anyway, we'll just urge our fans to listen to a Niger Athletics Weekly episode where we'll be talking about the African Championships in full detail. So just listen to it. And we're going to call it a wrap on today's episode of the show. It's been exciting. It's been fun. Do join us again, same time next week, when we'll bring you reviews from all parts of the world, especially from the US and Jamaican national trials.
Global Athletics Weekly is a Making of Champions production. For all the latest athletic stories, go to makingofchamps.com and follow us on social media at Making of Champs on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, and YouTube.